mainly what we discussed yesterday or in the last lecture, that was regarding the um, 7 segment as the display or as the output for the uh, any controlling process or any monitoring process or anything that you want to show as the output. You can use the 7 segment. But as you see, 7 segment has one benefit, and that was the cost. It means that is cheap and it's in low cost. You can purchase it and it will work very nice. But one more limitation that we had in 7 segment was the some character that we cannot show it correct and proper on the 7 segment. That is the main problem. Even some customized 7 segments are built now and people can use it, but still in some project we had lots of limitation that people prefer to use another type of uh, display system. Then the technology is changed and people could make one new display system which they call it LCD or liquid uh, crystal, which with the help of this you can show any character or any uh, alphabet even in any language. Suppose with the 7 segment maybe we are limited to the Chinese language, but with LCD we are not limited. We are not suppose limited with some Korean language, some Japanese language, some Persian language, but with LCD we don't have uh, problem. LCD can show all of them. There is some method for that, which I will not teach you in this course, but you can find it on net. It's not difficult. It's very simple. Just be aware that why LCD come to picture. As I show you here, these LCDs, uh, which mainly we are using the character LCD type because we had two type of LCD. One is graphical part that you can plot and also draw very nice shape on that. Anything that you want, you can draw with that any shape. We are using the character types. They are in the uh, some categorization or some parts like this that I written for you. As you will see, the character LCD type can be 8 by 1, 8 by 2, 8 by 4, 60 by 1, 60 by 2, 20 by 1, 20 by 2, 20 by 4, 24 by 1, 20 up to 24, 32, 40 to 4. But mainly first we should talk what is these numbers. This number will show you that how many columns and how many rows you have in your LCDs. Mean the LCD will be categorized based on dimension, number of rows and number of columns. Uh, as the example that I bring, M by N dimension, M means number of columns and N represent the number of rows. Let us see better. It's what I said. Suppose one of the famous LCD type are 16 by 2. In this 16 by 2, we are we have the 16 column and 2 rows. Okay, columns are here. Let me show you. Maybe it's better. Yeah. Columns are here, this part, and rows are here, and rows are here. These two parameter or these two things will tell us how many character we can write in the upside or as the column part, and how many character we can have in the downside or in the rows. Okay, remember this. We will discuss more regarding this point. Okay, as the famous figure, even you can find this in Pro Tools. 8 by 1, 8 by 2, 8 by 4, 21, or up to 40 by 2, they have the same pinout or same hardware structure as you can see here. They have the same hardware structure. Then, in the case of using the Pro Tools or in the real hardware, you have this pinout that you should connect. I mean, the pin number one generally should connect to the ground. Pin number two should connect to the 5 volt. Three should set as the LCD construct that I will tell you later. Generally, we will use some potentiometer, or they use 2 by 2, 2.2K resistor, uh, which will be fixed the visibility of LCD. Pin number 4, 5, 6 are RS, RW, and E, which we call it LCD controlling pins. Pin number 7 to 14, these are the data pins that I will tell you how to use. These pins are the pins that we should connect to the LCD, to our Arduino. Pin number 15, 60 are backlight uh, LED for the LCD, which will help us to increase the visibility and quality of the character that you want to write on your LCD. Let us see more. As I tell you, 60 by 2, which is the aim of our lectures, and we mainly work on that, um, is it has 60 pins, and the first one from left is as ground, as we say. Second one is VCC, which we generally will connect to 5 volt. Mainly, you can even connect to the Arduino 5 volt pin. Next is VO pin, which we must attach to the potentiometer, as I tell you, for display. Next, RS pin is, they call it select, and it will use to selecting when that we want to send data or send command or send data. Okay. For example, if we put the RS to ground or low state or 0 volts, then we just sending the command to LCD. Set the cursor to the specific location, clear the display, turn on and when RS pin is high state or it's connected to 5 volt, we are sending the data to character to the LCD. Please remember one thing. LCD is unlimited. Sometimes you can write and read from LCD. Okay. Then for this job, this nice job, you should have some specific pin, which people will call it RW. In this RW pin, sometimes you want to write, sometimes you want to read. The application that we have in our work is that we just write on LCD. And another thing is that enable pin or E, uh, which they are 8 pin. There is the story for these 8 pin. The story is that previously, I mean, with 8051 microcontroller, when we wanted to work on LCD, we should connect all these 8 pin. Then just using the one LCD for our controllers, we we should spend 8 pin or 8 part from our microcontroller. But now what they have done, they work on the library of LCD and with some methods that they generate internally in that, we can just use 4 pin from LCD. Then, if I want to connect my LCD to Arduino, just I need 4 pin, and it's fantastic. Even nowadays, they are doing much more better, and we just can use two just can use 2 pin, which they call it I square C. There is some new type of character LCD which people use I square C, and based on this I square C pin, just you will use 2 pin. It's marvelous. It's very nice things even people have. After this 8 pin, we have 2 pin of A and K, which are anode and cathode for the LED backlights. And after all, we don't have to worry much about how the LCD work, as the liquid crystal library takes care of almost everything. From Arduino official website, you can find and see the function of library and all this thing. Then just we use bit 4 to 8 or 1 to 0 to 4. Okay, don't forget. These are the LCDs figure and pinout. As I tell you, to connect, just we need this pin. This pin we will do externally, means that they are not connected to the Arduino. You should connect to the other. And this is the columns and row for the LCD. 60 by 2, because 16 columns and 2 rows we have. Let us see more. Okay, the full circuits schematic is something like this, that this is the trim pots that we should make to increase and decrease the uh, visibility or intensity for our LCD port. And these are the pins which we are connect to the Arduino. Here I show Arduino Mega, but there is no different for the pin. You can connect to the Ono also. There is not difficult. Yes. Here I show you the Ono and some proposed pin, because you can even change this pin. For pin number 4, you will use for RS. Pin number 6, you will use for enable. D4, D5, and D6. Then it's finished. From LCD pin and Arduino pin, you can connect this pin and use it for your application. Okay. Now, after doing this connection, we have, or we should have, um, the coding part. For the coding part, they have done very nice job. They made one library, they call it Liquid Crystal Library. And in that library, you should do two jobs. First is that you should tell which type of LCD you should use. Another one is that what is your hardware connection. Let us see. Yes, here. This is example number 1. As you will see, I will use the library of liquid crystal.h, which no need to insert this library. It's already inside of your IDE. Another one is that I will tell which pin is connected here. It means then first number is RS pin, second one is enable, third one is D4, D5, D6, and D7. Whatever pin that you specify here for the hardware or for simulation job, you should do the same. Means that you should connect the same pins to your LCD. Then in the setup part, you will say LCD begins 60 by 2, means that you will specify which type of character LCD you use. We use 60 by 2, then we'll use it here. And then it's simple. LCD print, hello words, means that you want to put the hello words on your LCD. This is what I have done. This is the pictures of my work that I written here for you. And whatever you type here or you pass through this LCD.print, you can see it on your LCD screen. This is example number one. Um, can we make it little bit more technically? Yes. You can, with LCD begin, you can write number of columns and number of rows that, and then specify that like this. There is no difference that you put 60 by 2 here or put it separate, means that put some integer numbers and declare it before. There is no difference between this program and previous one, but it's little bit, they call it technical method of writing that. Okay, then that is what we need to learn to work with the LCD part. There are a big list or good list for the Arduino LCD that I will give you some task to do that, but not for Monday, for next week now, because I know for Monday you have some work to do on uh, 7 segment. But after that, I will give you some task for the rest of the uh, function that we have in LCD, and we will talk even for that. But okay, before okay, just to see some application regarding the LCD, I prepare one clips, which in that you will see that what is or how even we can how we can use the LCD for that. I will try to make one good clip for you that how to using the LCD uh, part, and then uh, based on that you can also, if you have the hardware part, you can repeat this job. It's good and you will enjoy to work with LCD. Uh, by the way, I think LCD is one of the nice part in Arduino, and it's one of the even simple part that you can work with Arduino. Now, please turn off your webcam. Just continue the today lecture part. Let us see some application regarding the LCD part. Uh, One of the good application, let me check that. Can you see the one of the application that general people use? They will integrate some sensors as the input to Arduino. Suppose something like ultrasonic sensors and some LCD to show the distance. This is that application. One Ono board and one LCD, as you can see. Uh, yes, and breadboard. First, we should connect the LCD on the board. Then we should do the wiring with the Ono board to show the pins. You will see that these pins are specified. First is ground, first VCC and ground. Then it's going to connect the LCD pins one by one. This job I will try to make one uh, video for you myself, and then one sensors they put to read. Okay, good. Then now you will see that it's written the some things on LCD, and then it can measure the distance with the help of that sensor, which we call it ultrasonic sensors. It can be one of the application for today lecture that we have. That is nice that it can measure the distance between the LCD and between the sensors and uh, one more things that we can have PIR motion sensors that mainly you will see these sensors in lots of application. Uh, First, you can connect it to your Arduino board, and then one buzzer. Suppose you can have when it will see the people, and then connect the buzzer, and now just power the uh, LED. Whenever it will do any motion near to that, there is the one beep sound from the buzzer that it's uh, showing that okay, some object is there or not. Let us see one more application which people will use the DS07. It's real-time clock. Whenever you want to make the watch or clock with your LCD, you can use these three module, and this three input is for intensity of LCD, and one 10K resistor they will put. Okay, first they will put the LCD here. Okay, then after that they should uh, connect that real-time module to the Arduino board and some potentiometer, as you will see. Yes, and some 10K resistor which they need for tune the better visibility of the uh, LCD. Here they have done the connection, and now they just run it. After running that, we can show the time and date on our LCD. Um, Number four, it can be some flame detector sensors which you can connect to your Arduino board, and then based on detecting the flame, it will do some requirement action that you have see. Suppose they put some LED, which whenever they have the flame, that LED will turn on or turn off, something like that. And one buzzer also. Okay, go ahead, do it. There is no flame, but now they will generate some, yes, some flame. Then by the infrared things, it will find, and with some distance, they can even do the job. The last even project can be the gas detector or uh, gas sensor, which these also we can connect to our Arduino board very nicely. And then based on that, yes, we can turn on and off an LED and one buzzer. Whenever it should be some gas, yes, which can be generated by this lighter, then it should give the buzzers alarm for us. Okay, or any smoke also, that sensor will work, and then it can give the alarm.